Last week, I started a journey on my first ever proper BMW, and right off the bat ran into some serious damage. But that didn't stop me, because our goal is to finish this car in time and drive it all the way to the M-Fest at the Kyalami Grand Prix circuit. So I had to work around the clock. It's about 5 o'clock in the morning. I still got a lot to do over here. It's supposed to be an exciting day, but I didn't have a lot of sleep. To only run into the next hurdle. The parts list is even more than what I've paid for this car. The only way that we are going to make it in time is to do multiple things at once. And now we are at this point. Car's gone, but let me show you guys how we got to this point. So let's jump straight into stripping down the interior. So the cool thing about this car is that we've got no deployed airbags, no SRS warnings, no curtain airbags deployed. Everything is still intact. That's a good sign. And we don't have any challenges with our seat belts. So the interior is just filthy, just need to give it a nice clean.
Let's start off by removing the driver's seat that bolts down with T45 bolts.
Unlike normal cars, I see that this car's got 5 bolts holding the seat. So it's got an extra bolt on this side, and I think it's because of the seat belt setup. Because normally your seat belt is mounted to the pillar and then to the seat, where this one is on the seat, it remains on the seat. The cool thing is if I take the seat out, I don't have to fiddle with the seat belt, but I think that's why there's an extra bolt. I'd rather remove an extra bolt than having to remove the seat belt.
Let's continue removing the bolts. The final thing is removing the electronic connection, and then we can remove the seat and create some working space for me and the panel shop. Next up, we are removing the rear seat base that basically just clips in, and then we can loosen the rear seat belts.
T50 bolts for the seat belts. There we go. So very easy.
Then we are removing the 2 T40 bolts to remove the rear seat backrest, and then at the top
We need to remove the headrest. Now this thing doesn't just slide out, but once that's removed, there we go, seat comes out. So I'm just going to pull that one out, and then it should be done. There we go, which is out. Woo! Now backrest is loose. Sure.
finally we can then remove the 2 side trim panels that is held in place with plastic clips and 1 T25 screw on each panel. This door frame rubber also needs to go. The driver door panel is held in place with plastic clips that can only be removed with brute force. It feels like you're breaking something, but you're not. And then we also need to unplug the electrical connection. I'm also removing all insulating panels to expose the bare metal for the panel shop. And there we have the interior all stripped up and exposed. Now we can move over to the boot trim.
I have stripped out the boot line already. I'm just going to remove all the panels. We have our boots stripped, and the only damage that I can see in here is basically this over here that got damaged. So this section is pushed in a bit, so we're gonna have to replace that. And then right over there I can see that something broke off as well in there. You see that little black round thing? Got broken as well from impact from the bottom. But the rest, the shock tower looks fine. The inner structure, everything looks beautiful. That's a very good sign. Otherwise we had to spend a lot more money on this car. So that's a good sign. Boot's looking good. Gonna have to take the bumper off to inspect the rest under here. Looks a bit knackered in there. And now that the interior is all stripped up, packed out, quarter panel completely revealed, let's jump straight into removing all the damaged body components that needs attention so that we can get this car to the panel shop.
I'm starting off by removing the exterior weather strips. First the front one, and then the rear one.
We've got some damage to the mirror, so damage to the black section over there as well as the color coded section as well. So I'm going to strip this off and I'll get that repainted as well. I gave it a massive pull and it came off, so let's see if it's going to work on the other side as well. There we go.
Now we are back on the driver door, removing the door weather strip that just pulls off and the complete mirror that's held in place with 2 T25 screws. Next up is the door handle that is held in place with 1 T20 screw and has 1 electronical connection that needs to be removed as well.
It's me in the bonnet again. That was a quick and easy way. This time I've got a different approach. I brought some backup.
The bonnet is connected with just 4 13mm bolts. And now I can carefully remove the bonnet to not cause further damage, as there's enough damage on this car already. This fender is destroyed anyway, so I wasn't taking much care in removing this scrappy panel.
There we go. Okay, so the fender's off, side stripped, bonnet's off, boot stripped. I'm going to remove the rear bumper now.
To remove the rear bumper, I first have to remove the taillights, which is both held in place with 2 8mm bolts each. Now I can access all the 8mm bolts, which is holding the rear bumper in place.
I think that had to do with the accident, definitely.
Once the bumper is unclipped, it can finally come off.
There's quite a bit of damage over here. All the stuff's destroyed. I think the alarm is in here. Hopefully the alarm's fine. But now I'm just going to remove all these pieces. We're going to have to replace them, but just remove them so we can expose the bare metal.
These bashed up panels are held in place with 10mm bolts. That's quite accessible and quite easy to remove. The final body panel to be removed is the front bumper that's held in place with T30 bolts at the top and the rest are all 8mm bolts at the bottom and sides. And off comes the front bumper. Once I've removed the electronical connection. And there we have the car completely stripped and finally ready to go to the panel shop. But wait, this car only has 3 wheels. So how on earth are we going to get it moved? Wait, I think I've got a genius idea.
Plan this trolley mounted to the car, and then that's going to act as our right rear wheel. Okay. Come on, this turned out great. I think that was a genius idea. I'm happy with that. So now it's mobile.
Finally, we can load this car and get it to the panel shop, as we do not have a lot of time on this project. And she's loaded and on her way to the panel shop.
So to make it in time with the car being at the panel shop, I still had to crack on. I made a list of all the damaged components. I packed them out. I've inspected all the components. I went to the agents, and boy, oh boy, did they give me a massive surprise. I mean, this is even more than what I've paid for this car. But that doesn't mean anything. So this is just the foundation. What I did is I started sourcing parts from right across the globe. And I've got some parts on order coming from the United States of America. I've got some parts coming in from Germany, and I found a lot of local parts as well. Mostly from the main dealer, but we've got more or less all the parts that we need to finish off this project. I had to send the wheels in to get them sorted as well. I sent away the drive shaft to get that checked. Maybe it's repairable, maybe we're gonna have to replace it. But like I said in the beginning of the video, if we wanna make it in time for the M-Fest, we're gonna have to do multiple things at the same time. I worked around the clock, so I skipped a bit on sleep, but I made a promise and I want to stick to that promise. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you're not yet subscribed to this channel, now is the perfect opportunity to hit that subscribe button, follow this build right through the end, and I will probably see you guys, not probably, definitely see you guys at the M-Fest. My tickets are booked, so I will be there. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers.